You mentioned pressure earlier, and then so I can imagine that it's difficult being in the current musical landscape as it is.
Yeah.
So, but well, one thing you already don't really worry about what other people make of it, so that's good. But I'm sure you have ambitions in a way for this record.
Absolutely. I mean, I do, but I have ambitions for it in the best possible way. I think that I just think that we're already in a cool place. Like we've done a bunch of records and we have our back catalogue and we have our thing. But yeah, of course, I think this album could be really important. I think it could do something really great, and I think that I'm going to take that journey. But you have no say over that. I mean, it's a lot. It's the people, man. It's like the people get what the people want, and I guess what I'm trying to say is that we definitely went against the grain of a lot of people would say to me, oh, you should really do some kind of dancey stuff or whatever. People would say this,
Right.
but we're doing something that we think is going against the grain. If tastes change with that, then it will be successful, and if they don't, it won't. But what I'm into is timeless music. I'm into the fact that maybe in 5 years, 10 years, people will see it as a great record still, and I think that's what we're trying to do. We're not trying to go, we've got to play stadiums now. We just want to make timeless music. Yeah.
Is that something you already had on the debut album, that idea of longevity, or is that something that has kind of gradually...
Yeah, we definitely did. We were ambitious little shits. No, we did. We used to talk about it, and it's a shame that two of the guys aren't, I was going to say aren't with us, but it sounds like they died. Two of the guys didn't make it, but that ethos has been there from day one, where we wanted to, and me, myself, I can't speak for everyone, but myself, definitely at the beginning, I always had that in my head of reaching to be around for a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
This is a very unfair question, but
Yeah.
what song do you think, as a songwriter, you've gotten closest to what you want out of a song? And then let's take the new album.
Weight of the World.
Okay. How come?
No one else sees it but me. It's the best song on the album. No one likes it as much as me. No, I'm very proud of that one. I think that that gets closest in some ways to a timeless piece of music, hopefully. They're all good.
Fair enough. But let's take lyrics then. In terms of lyrics, there's one song I like, Four-Leaf Clover a lot.
Four-Leaf Clover, yeah, cool.
So a song like that, and which I can imagine is quite personal, or at least is partly about what you experience yourself. But when you write the lyrics, is that a tough thing to do in terms of being happy with what you write?
It's so funny. You're the second person to say it must be really personal about that song, but it's not at all.
Okay.
It's totally fiction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, no, Four-Leaf Clover was more just like the premise was an imagination of kind of talking about not anyone specific, but people that I think I've come across, like bullies and like journalists that have said stuff, like it's journalists that, let's face it, say stuff that quite easily they'll slate things without really giving it, realizing that you've worked hard, or even just any kind of human feeling towards it. And I think like those kind of people, it's a bit of a shout out to those people. Like, we've been a band a while, we've had people try and knock us down. It's kind of like, well, we're still here and we still make music, and you can't just dismiss that anymore. And I think that there was a bit of a bite like that for me in that song. Was the classic journo that's sitting in a pool of self-hate and doing a load of blow and sitting writing stuff about musicians that are actually creating and actually doing something, not just musicians.
Sure.
And so it's a little bit of a fight song.
Okay. in those moments, how do you
Yeah.
how do you stay sane in a way I read while doing research for the debut album. I mean, it was really successful, and then there's still people who had horrible things to say about it,
Yeah.
which is a weird thing in a way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But in those moments, what gets you through it, or what?
Well, you know, when you're playing your shows and you're playing big shows and people know your tunes, I don't know, you know, just having a happy life, man. I mean, like, it's not nice. I mean, I think it's basically bullying, and that's what I'm saying. I think I've always hated bullies. When I was at school, you know, I certainly was going to be on the other side of that, you know. But bullies are the worst because generally bullies can't. They're basically crap at everything, and they have to have a go at anyone that's good at anything, you know. And those people generally are. I mean, if you're gonna slate something, slate it for the right reasons. And I think with my band, with the Kooks, it's often been that people will criticise without criticising the music. So you know that to me in itself proves what I'm trying to say. Is, just because you think something isn't in or isn't, you don't want to sit with your mates around the pub and talk about it, doesn't mean it doesn't have some kind of relevance. I think we were definitely on the bad end of that, and I think that there was a culture of that back then, and I'm probably guilty of it myself occasionally. So you know, saying stuff without thinking. But you know, times have changed, and I think that song particularly is talking about the past and addressing it.
Right. Fair enough. And then you mentioned living a happy life, so Let's Go Sunshine. When did that title pop up? Was it? It
was actually meant to be Let Go Sunshine.
Okay. What happened?
But I decided to change it because it felt a bit more positive. It came because I felt the album was a real release. You know, it feels like that kind of album. It was expelling quite a lot of not emotions, but it's an album that I hope feels like that. It's a super positive outlook, and I think there's a lot of angst that gets released in the album. You know, there's a lot of payoffs on some of the choruses. I feel like it had that feeling to me of release. So. I think that's really why I got to that, and yeah, I mean, you know, it's releasing the weight of the world, man. You've got to let go.
But is it a release in the sense of because of the kind of what life is like these days, and in the bio you mentioned the things that are going on in Britain. I mean, the things are happening all over.
Yeah, you can't help but feel it. I think there's a lot of angst. For decisions that have been made on people's behalves. The people we live in, you know, we all fight for a lot, and then we still end up in a situation where we're all kind of slaves to the situation. We're slaves to debt, and we're slaves to the powers that be that kind of, you know. There's a lot going on. I mean, Brexit's one thing. I don't think it's just that. I think there's a societal thing going on that I just feel like it's really sad that things haven't gone better since I was a kid. It felt like they would. And I'm sat now 33. When I was 13, I you know, that if I thought the world was like this, I wouldn't have wanted to get out of bed. So it's pretty sad, and I think that music, it's one place where you're allowed to express these kinds of feelings if you're not, without being a politician. So there are moments like that on the record, and also I just felt like when we were doing this album, I was like, we need like a positive record, man, and not a positive record in a kind of EDM pop way. We need a positive release record. You know what I mean? Like, and I hope that we've done it, some kind of form of that. and you know, let's see how it comes across to people. But yeah, I mean, it's really tough for a lot of people, and there's a lot of swirling emotions about it. And I do think you're going to see a lot more music that's going to take that on. I'm just really waiting for like the next. I don't know about protesting it, but yeah, I'm waiting for the next Dylan.
Wave
you know?
of, yeah. Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
All right, Luke. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.